Hello guys, welcome to another video in the series of coding. Today we are going to do the problem which is called subarray. Let's try to understand this problem. In this problem we have to find the length of the minimum number of elements that we have to sort in a particular array such that we will be able to make the array sorted. Okay, let's try to take a simpler example to understand this. Suppose we have the array 1, 2, 3, 6, 5. Okay, in this we can observe that 6, 5 are the elements that are causing problem. If we were able to sort 6, 5, we will have the entire array sorted. So what we will do, we will sort these elements 6, 5 and they will become 5, 6 and then our entire array will be sorted. So in this case the answer is 2 because we have to sort 2 elements, right? So we have to return the minimum length that we have to sort so that the entire array can be sorted. So if we sort a few elements, some particular elements of a subarray, we'll be able to sort the entire array. So that is what is the question. Now let's try to understand how we can do this question. Okay, let's try to observe this array that is given. In this particular array, you can see that 1, 4, 10 are sorted. So as we are going, 1, 4 and 10 are not causing us any problem because they are anyway in increasing order. 1 is here, then we have 4, then we have 10, right? So it's anyway in an increasing order, so it's okay for us. But what is happening is, now you suddenly see 8. Okay, so now you see suddenly the element which is 8. Now 8 is causing problems for us because now everything was in a straight line, everything was increasing, so it was in a sorted order, but suddenly you see 8, so you see a drop, right? So this is the problem. When you see a drop, that is causing problems to you, right? So this is the element that is causing problem. Okay, let's try to observe next element. Next 30, again you see some element which is going very high. Okay, this is also causing problems. Next you see 2. So 2 is an element which is again causing problem. So we are finding a mountain type structure which we don't at all want, because we want just increasing order, we want or increasing or constant, it should just be sorted, right, in order. Next we see 50, again we have a very large element, right? Next we see 20, again we have some element like this. Then we see 100 and 500. Okay, so something like this. So this is our final structure of the array. How do we want to make it? We want to make it like this, right? Like this, or constant or increasing, something like this. But now we are having a mountain type structure. So what can we do? How many elements do we have to sort, so that minimum number of elements that we will have to sort to improve our structure? What can we do? Okay, let's try to do one thing. So let's see, 1, 4 and 10 are in proper order. Okay, what is causing the problem? 8 is causing the problem. Okay, let us note 8. Okay, 8 is causing the problem. So let's try to find the minimum and maximum element that are causing us problems. So we will have a variable min and we will have a maximum variable. Let us try to note which is the largest and which is the smallest element that is causing problem, and let's see why they are important. Okay, as of now when we are iterating, our minimum is 8. Okay, next time we iterate, we see 30. Is 30 causing problem? How do we know if 30 is causing problem or not? We know this because observe the neighbors of 30. What are the neighbors of 30? 30 is here, it has two neighbors, 8 and 2, right? So 30 is here, it has a neighbor 8 as well as it has a neighbor 2. So what is the structure of this? This is having this type structure, mountain type structure. Do we want mountain structure? No, we want correct order structure, right? We want an increasing or constant type of structure, but we have a mountain structure. So 30 is the one that is causing problem because it is having problems because 30, how should 30 be placed? If you are considering only these elements, 30 should not, okay, 30 is greater than 8, that is okay, because when we are observing 8 and 30, this is fine with us because 30 is greater than 8, so 30 should come after 8. But what is the problem? 2 is the problem, because 30, after 30 we should have an element equal to or greater than 30, but what we are seeing a dip, we are seeing 2. So this part of the array is causing us problems. Okay, so we know that. So we know that 30 is a troubled element. So what we will do now, 30 is also a troubled element, so we will we will change our max to 30. Okay, min will remain as 8 because 8 is still smaller than 30. Okay, next we will observe the next element, which is 2. Now is 2 a problematic element? We have to just find if 2 is a problematic element, right? So how can we find that? If it is showing a structure which we don't want, then it's a problematic element. So where is 2? 2 is here. What are the neighbors of 2? 30 and 50. So where is 30? 30 is here and 50 is here. Now what was 2 supposed to do? 2 was supposed to be greater than 30 first of all, because 2 is coming after 30, so it should have been greater than 30. So here it is causing problems, right? So 2 is smaller than 50, that is okay. But 2 is should have been greater than 30, right? The element which is coming here should have been greater than 30. It should have been greater than its previous element. So this is causing us problem. So 2 is also a problematic element. So if an element is problematic, we will try to store it within these min and max variables. Okay, min will change to 2, max will remain as 30 as of now. So we are seeing all the problematic elements. Next we are seeing 50. Is 50 a problematic element? Okay, let's observe its neighbors. To find out if it is causing trouble, we will observe its neighbors. So we have 2, then we have 50, and then we have 20, right? Something like this. So again, it's a mountain type structure which we don't want. Why? Because which is causing problem? This part is causing problem. 50 should have been smaller than 20. 50 is coming before 20. So 50 should have been smaller than 20. But it is greater than 20. So it is causing problems for us. So we don't want this particular element. So let me try to erase this. My eraser is okay, working fine now. So in this particular case, 50 is again a problematic element. So what we will do? We will change the max variable to 50. So let us do that. We'll change the max to 50 now. Let's go to the next element, 20. What about 20? Is 20 a problematic element? How can we find that? So 20 is here, and then we have its neighbors as 50 and 100. So this is 50. Okay, here itself we can see that there is problem. 20 is coming after 50. So 20 should be larger than 50 or equal to 50 by default, because it should have been in ascending order. But in this case, 20 is again a problematic element. So what we will do? We will try to observe. So can 20 be the minimum? No, because 2 is already minimum. Can 20 be the maximum? No, because 50 is already maximum. So we will not change the maximum or minimum elements. Let us go to the next. Next we have 100. Is 100 a problematic element? No, 100 is fine because 100 has neighbors 20 and 500. So 100 is at correct position. This is the correct order, right? This is how it should look. Because 100 is greater than 20 and 100 is lesser than 500. So it is fine. This is in ascending order. Next we are observing the last element, which is 500. So now we have 500 also, which is fine because 500 should be greater than 100. 100 is its neighbor. So this is also fine. Okay, so now we have iterated over all the elements. So now we can observe that which were the okay elements. Let us see. Let us try to mark those. So we saw that 1, 4 and 10 were in order. Okay, as well as 100 and 500 were in order. But these elements, remaining elements, were problematic elements. Among the problematic elements, 2 and 50 are the minimum and maximum. So what does it mean? If we shift 2 and place at its correct position. Similarly, if we shift 50 and we place at its correct position, then will we have a sorted array? Yes, we will have a sorted array, because if we shift 2 here, that means from here up till here, starting from the position of 2 and ending at the position of 50, right? If we have these two positions perfect, okay, within these all these elements should get sorted, right? If we shift 2 here, and all the elements in between should of course take their positions, and similarly from 2 till 50 all the elements will get sorted. So we should just find the minimum boundary that we have to sort and maximum boundary that we have to sort, because that length is at least required. Unless and until you place 2 at its correct position, you will not have sorted elements. You cannot place 2 anywhere else except here. Similarly, 50 should be placed at its current position. Why are we taking only 2 and 50? Because let's say we take 8. Okay, we take 8 and we place it at its position. Okay, that will be very good, but that will not give us the correct answer, because until and unless we place 2, the minimum element, okay, we will still need to sort all the elements that are between 2 and 8. Okay, so that is the logic. We have to at least place the minimum and maximum elements and all the elements between those positions to sort them. So this is the logic. So what we'll do, we'll find the minimum as well as the maximum element that we want to place, and then we'll find the positions at which we should place them. Then we will take the length between those two indices and return that as our answer. So let's move on to coding this to understand this better. So let us try to code this particular thing. Let's move forward to coding this problem. So let us start coding this problem as discussed in the approach. So we have to find the positions of the min and max elements. So let us declare min and max elements. We have int min, and we will initially make it as int max to try to compare it, and then we will have max elements that we can make as int min. Okay. Now let us also take the variable in end nums dot size. Let's start iterating. So we have for int I equal to 0, I less than n, I plus plus, and let us start iterating over the array and trying to find whether an element is problematic. How will we find if an element is problematic? Okay, so if it is breaking the ascending order, it is problematic. Let us try to see that. So we have nums of I. If nums of I is less than nums of I plus 1, we have no problem at all, because this is how it is supposed to be, right? It is supposed to be smaller than the element. It is supposed to be smaller than the element which is coming after it. But if it breaks this order, then it is a problematic element. Okay. Another case when it can be problematic is, let's try to see that case. If nums of I is greater than nums of I minus 1, this is fine. But because it should be greater than the element which is coming before it. But if it becomes lesser, then it is a problematic element. So when it becomes a problematic element, we'll try to find the minimum. We'll try to see if it is the minimum or the maximum element, and then we will have to find the indices of those elements and return the length as the answer. Okay, let's see minimum. So we will try to see. So let me do one thing. Let me make these as capital variables so that they are not confusing. Okay, so let us see. Min is going to be equal to minimum of the current minimum compared with nums of I, and we can give a similar condition for the maximum element. So in place of min, I will just give max, and here also I will just give max. Okay, let me try to write max here, and let me try to write nums of I. Okay, so this is the condition. Now this is fine if the elements are in between, but what about if the first element is at index 0? In that case, you don't have I minus 1, because for I equal to 0, I minus 1 will be minus 1. So you can't give this condition. So in that case, let us give a condition first itself. If I is equal to 0, right? In that case, we have to just take the first condition. Let's just write the first condition, and let us write this same conditions here. Okay, because you don't have to check the left neighbor, you just have to check the right neighbor for I equal to 0. Similarly for the last element, right? So in the last element we have I equal to n minus 1. In this case, you can't check the right neighbor. It doesn't have a right neighbor. You have to only check the left neighbor. So let us give only the other condition, right? So which is the other condition? You have to check only the left neighbor, this particular condition. So let me copy this and let me give the if condition here. Okay, let me try to format it better way, and let us copy paste these values here. Okay, so now we have written our code for all the three conditions. Let me just format it a little bit, because it is little bit, I think, confusing. Okay, anyway, let us move forward. So if I is equal to 0, then we have to only check if the neighbor which is on the right side, if it is problematic, because it doesn't have a left neighbor. Okay. If it is the last element, in that case it doesn't have a right neighbor. You have to only check, you have to compare it with the left neighbor and check if it is in proper order or not. So that's what we are doing, and otherwise it will have both the neighbors. So you will have to you will have to check with this particular condition. So you can give else here, and let me move this inside a bracket. So this is fine. Now we have exited the for loop. After we exit the for loop, we will have to do one thing. We will have to check for the position of the min and max elements. So in that case, we'll have to try to find the position of the min and max elements. Okay, so let us do that here. So this bracket should be for the for loop. What is happening here? Let's check. These two brackets are fine. These two brackets are also fine. This bracket is closing the for loop, so there is a problem here. So this is the if bracket, and we should have given else here. Okay, now it should be fine. Let us try to check. Okay, this is the if bracket, this is else if. Okay, it is fine now. Let us try to move ahead. So this is closing the current for loop. Now in this particular case, you have to find the positions of min and max, because you don't want to actually sort the subarray, and you don't want to do that and waste your time. You are just supposed to find the length. You should not try sorting the subarray. Okay, you have to just find the length. So you have to just find the position of max, where will it get placed, find the position of min. Okay, find both the positions and then subtract the max position from the min position to get the length. That is the approach that we are going to take. So how will you find the position of the min? So what we will do, we will write a for loop, and we will initially, let's say I is equal to I, and we are starting I and j. Let's take two variables. Okay, let us start with I is equal to 0, I is less than n. Okay, I plus plus. Let us have this for loop. Now in this, what we will do is, suppose your array is 1 2 3 6. Okay, you have to, let's say, find the position of 5 here. Suppose 5 is the minimum element which you want to sort. So what you will do, you look at 5. 1 is smaller than 5, it's okay, this is not the position. 2 is smaller than 5. 3 is also smaller than 5. But when you will compare with 6, you will find that 6 is greater than 5. So you know that 5 should be placed here. This is how you will find the position of 5, right? You will start from the first element, start comparing it, and then find its position. So that's what we are going to do here. I is less than n, and nums of I is less than equal to your minimum element. Till that time, you can keep on incrementing I. Okay. And finally, you will end up with the I, which will give you the position of the min element. Similarly, to find the position of the max element, you can start from the right side. So we'll give the similar for loop, but this time we will start from the right side. So j is equal to n minus 1, j is greater than equal to 0, and nums of j. In this case, okay, let's say you want to find the position of 4. Okay, suppose 4 is your element that you want to find the position. You start from the right side. 4 is less than 6, it's okay. 4 is less than 5, it's okay. Now 4 is not less than 3, so you should place 4 here. So that's how you find the position of 4. So what you will do, if your nums of j, if that is greater than equal to your max element, till that time it is fine for us. Okay. So these are our two for loops. At the end, we will have the position ij, which represent the position of where the minimum and maximum element should be placed. Now we have to sort between min and max, right? This is what we are supposed to do. But we don't want to do the actual sorting. You have to just return the length between these two indices. So you can simply do one thing. You can simply return j minus I plus 1. That will give the length between these two indices. Okay. So this will be our code. Now there is just one small thing. In this particular case, suppose the array is already sorted. Let's say you have an array 1 2 3 4 5 or something like this, which is already sorted. In this case, you don't want to waste your time. So what you should do, if it is already sorted, it will not have any min or max element. They will retain the previous values. So in this particular case, you can give a condition here itself. If min is equal to int max, or let's say max is equal to int min, in that particular case you can simply return 0 because it's already sorted, right? And here you can also do one case. If n is equal to 1, you have only one sized array. Let's say you have simple one element, it's already sorted, right? You don't have to do anything, so you can return 0 in that case also. Okay, let us try to run this code and see if it is working. Reference to, or did you mean to call it? Okay, so there is a problem here because I have given capital M and capital M here also. So that should be given. It is working. Let me just submit the code and see if it's working for all the test cases. So it's fine. That's it. Thank you for being patient and listening.